Hello everyone, and welcome back to another review. This time we're going to be doing Smackdown, this week's episode. This week's episode to me was, I thought it was still good. Like, obviously some big names were not on the show. And what they did this week, I actually didn't mind. I didn't mind some, it was like a mix of different people. It was a mix of different and fresh new faces that we haven't seen. And there's also your typical names like Sonya Deville, Naomi, Shayna, the Bloodline, and Drew McIntyre. Like, just your typical names that we see every week. Plus some different people on the shows. Like, some different people that we haven't seen yet. So I did like that. I did like that we got, kind of like the same. Still saw like the big names, but we also got some new faces. I personally believe this is how WWE needs to handle their booking of their shows every week. This is how they need to handle their shows every week. If you've got storylines ongoing, that's perfectly fine, but also make room for other people that don't have anything to do. So I feel like that's how things need to be handled. Rotate the talent every week and just give people different people each week. Like, us seeing the same people every week, don't get me wrong, even if they are superstars that we're fans of, sometimes I personally feel they at least need a week off, a week or two off, and then we can see some other people develop. Give other people opportunities and chances to develop. Now, for those who are wondering why Sasha Banks and Charlotte were not on the show today, was because of the fact that they're in the United Kingdom. They are still live. They're still doing live events around the United Kingdom. So that explains everything. So that explains a lot over there for those who were wondering where the hell they were. So let's get on with it. The show begins with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Roman Reigns is furious at the Usos for losing to the New Day. Roman takes 1 week off, and then a whole lot of chaos ends up taking over. King Woods says that he will acknowledge Roman Reigns if Jimmy Uso bends the knee to him if he beats him in a match. Roman Reigns accepts this on Jimmy's behalf. So our first match was Naomi against Shayna Baszler. Naomi would win here. She would end up winning here, but then Sonya Deville would come out and completely restart the match, just making up a load of bullshit saying that Naomi cheated, she had her feet on the ropes or something like that. Just making up a load of crap. And then Shayna Baszler basically won. So Shayna Baszler would then go on to win the match. This storyline has gone down the shitter for me. I've really lost a lot of interest in this. And it's not just because of Shayna Baszler. I personally feel like this whole storyline just isn't doing anything for me. Like, it's just not doing anything. It's making Naomi look stupid. It's making Naomi look completely stupid. Like, she can't even win a fair match. She can't even win a match fair. She wins the match fairly, and then Sonya still screws her over. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I hate authority figure-like storylines. I got sick of it with the Authority years ago. I got sick of it with Baron Corbin when he was doing it. I just never liked these kinds of storylines. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. I never liked these kinds of storylines. I personally feel these storylines are just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's annoying. I just don't like these kinds of storylines. It started off hot, but now I feel like now it's gotten cold and it's gone down the shitter. Naomi just can't get a win. All because Sonya Deville just hasn't explained why she has an issue with Naomi. But it's whatever. Shayna Baszler won because Sonya Deville restarted the match. For no reason whatsoever. Because she restarted the match because she won't accept Naomi winning a match. Let's be real here. That's the only reason why she restarted the match. And then we get a video package of Xia Li saying that she's coming soon. I really hope they have plans for Xia Li because the fact that this is the 3rd week we've seen these and it still says coming soon, starting to make me think they don't have plans for her. And that's the scary and worrying thing. Then we had the makeshift team of Mansoor and Cesaro taking on Los Lotharios, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. I do like they got a tag team name now, so that basically now confirms them as a legitimate tag team. Giving your tag teams a tag team name, basically to me, confirms them as a legitimate team. And I do like that. I do like that they gave them a legitimate team now. Legitimate team name. So Garza and Carrillo would win against this makeshift team of Mansoor and Cesaro. Basically, Mansoor went from tagging with Mustafa Ali to tagging with Cesaro. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Mansoor, but why the hell did you go through the effort to break him up from Mustafa Ali, only to pair him with somebody else? I just think that's very, very ridiculous if you ask me. You should have just kept Mansoor and Mustafa Ali together. At least they were an interesting tag team and they would have added a lot to the division. Then we see Ridge Holland. This is the 2nd time we've seen Ridge Holland on our TV screens. And he says that he cannot wait to meet Sheamus. He calls Sheamus his hero and he basically just lists out everything that Sheamus accomplished. More his big ones like the Royal Rumble and winning the WWE Championship. But so there's two things that I think are going to happen here. Either this leads to a storyline with Ridge Holland and Sheamus having a feud, and I believe Sheamus is going to be the babyface here. I don't think Ridge Holland would be a babyface here. If these two end up feuding, Sheamus is more than likely going to be the babyface. Or second thing, they become a tag team. Now, would I be okay with these two becoming a tag team? I mean, I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be interesting to have these two as a tag team. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this storyline. I am a little bit intrigued. So, we'll see where they go with it. Then we have Shotzi. She cuts a promo. She pretty much goes over what she's been through, saying that she's lost opportunities at title belts. She lost her tag team partner. And then she lost the biggest match of her career because of Sasha Banks. And she plans to run over Sasha Banks and everybody else that dares to get in her way. And she also says she doesn't need a tank to do so. So they've completely gotten rid of her tank. Something tells me WWE are stealing ideas again. But from who exactly? Very, very suspicious. Anyway, then we have Drew McIntyre facing off against Ricochet in a really good match. I think Drew McIntyre's open challenge matches have, so far been pretty good. I think they've been pretty good so far with all three of the people that he's faced. And he beats Ricochet here by giving him a Claymore kick in midair, which looked really, really cool. And then we had a backstage segment following this match with Mustafa Ali trying to earn Ricochet's respect by wanting him in a tag team. Ricochet turns him down and calls him a jerk. Now, the fact that these two are feuding again is really eye-rolling to me. But don't get me wrong, these two are super talented and they could really have great matches on Smackdown. That's not the issue. Ali and Ricochet can tear the house down. That's not my problem. I don't have a problem with their matches. But I'm more concerned with the fact that Mustafa Ali is the only legitimate person that Ricochet has really feuded with. Because they feuded last year over the whole Retribution stuff. And now they're feuding again. Potentially. So I think they're just running out of ideas. So, I mean, their matches are going to be great. That's the only good positive thing about it. We have Aaliyah. We see Aaliyah, the bougie princess, on TV here as she talks to Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy goes to get interviewed. She walks away, and then Sami Zayn approaches her, and Jeff Hardy goes over to keep her company, because she's the new girl. So Sami Zayn offers Aaliyah some unsolidity, whatever the word is, advice. And Aaliyah basically asks Jeff Hardy, is he always like that? And he replies, yes. Oh dear. Then we get more happy crappy talk. Happy crappy talk. So we get happy crappy snappy Corbin and Maddie Chappy Moss and their unfunniness and their unfunny show, Happy Talk. The Viking Raiders were their guests. They were being unfunny whatsoever. They were not being very funny at all. And Madcap Moss decides to make a joke, a funny joke, about Sarah Logan. Just not referencing her by name, obviously. Basically saying that a normal woman took a liking to a Viking. Basically just mocking the fact that a woman likes a Viking. It is not funny. These two are not funny. They're not entertaining. Everybody preferred Sad Corbin. Everybody liked Sad Corbin, the Baron Corbin that was begging for sympathy. But WWE just ended it so darn quickly. So he went from Sad Corbin for about 3 or 4 weeks to Happy Corbin. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of Baron Corbin. Never will. But the fact that Sad Corbin was interesting and it even got me invested just shows you that WWE just liked to ruin something that was very, very good. The Viking Raiders win this match by a countout because Happy Snappy Corbin, or Happy Crappy Corbin as I call him, and Maddie Crappy Moss decide to tuck their tail between their legs and run away like a bunch of pussies. Sami Zayn's at it again, but this time he goes after Hit Row, minusing a BFAB, by the way, and because she was released. And the big noticeable change, not just BFAB not being there, was not only the first thing that everybody would notice. It's the fact when Hit Row's music plays. You see them come out, and if you've heard Hit Row's music before, the first thing you will notice is that every single vocal line that BFAB had in that theme song is basically removed from the song. So the song would start with BFAB saying "Hero," and that's basically all gone. And her vocal lines from the song describing who she is also gone. So they completely got rid of BFAB completely, just removing her from the song completely. Which kind of makes sense because they released her, but it's also a bit unfair to release her. I may not be the biggest, and never really liked BFAB, but I did think it was a bit unfair to release someone who you literally just went through all the effort to call up. That's the one thing that agitates me. You go through all this effort to call them up, and then you just decide to fire one of them. For what reason? I don't know. But then Hit Row basically turned their rap into saying Sami Zayn sucks. And then our main event was King Woods against Jimmy Uso. This would lead to King Woods getting the win. The Usos would try to cheat, but fail. Jimmy Uso's about to bend the knee, and then Roman Reigns comes out and saves the Usos. The show ends with the Bloodline standing over a broken Kofi Kingston and a beaten and battered King Woods. So there you go, that's the end of this episode of SmackDown. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I personally didn't hate the show. I thought it was still pretty good, even though I wish there was more women's matches, but, you know, it's whatever. And I did like the mixture of talent. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I really wish that this is the format WWE sticks to, just constantly rotating people, giving different people screen time, while still keeping your, top names on the card, but also mixing different people on the show as well. I do think that's exactly how they need to handle things. So that is all for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up, comment your thoughts and opinions down below, like and subscribe and all that other jazz, and I will see you all next time.